Folks in the UK get to watch each new episode of Doctor Who 5.5 hours earlier than I do, so I was warned. I had an email that warned me. Too late to warn you, though. What a mess. Journey to the center of the TARDIS. Journey to the center of a train wreck, if you ask me. Last season, for the first time in its history, Doctor Who did an episode in which the TARDIS, the Doctor's improbable blue box, was the subject. Neil Gaiman pitched the concept and then wrote the episode. It was, for many fans and critics, the hit of the season, award-winning. A Bradbury, a Hugo, and a Mikola. Once in 50 years, a story about the TARDIS, delicious treat. Once a series, I don't know. In this story, the TARDIS is captured by a crew of greedy, not-too-bright space scavengers. Ferengis? Determined to dismantle and sell it for parts. To defend itself, the TARDIS generates a maze of chaotic, incomprehensible corridors, chambers, guaranteeing us an episode of endless wandering and confusing, revisiting the same sets again and again. Clara gets lost in the maze, I get lost in the plot. Few glorious sight gags, the swimming pool, the library, in which Clara finds a book that reveals the Doctor's name. What? This could be interesting. The Doctor's name? Doctor Who? Moffat's been teasing us with the Doctor's name since Professor Song first or last encountered him in the library. Can't imagine that paying off well, but he keeps throwing it in our face. In fact, it's the name of the final episode of this series. Does not bode well. He can't reveal the name without completely invalidating the title of the series. Blowing 50 years of brand equity. What else happens this episode? Somebody dies, somebody gets impaled, the TARDIS explodes. Oh look, bullet time from The Matrix. That's novel. Let's party like it's 1999. And then there's a reset button that takes everything back. The whole episode goes Command-Z. Undo. If only I could unwatch. Surely they know they just violated the one rule that makes time travel shows interesting. If people with time machines get into trouble and you give them the option to jump back in time and get out of trouble by avoiding it in the first place, why even bother? Time travel stories always invent conditions that make it impossible to do that. Welcome to Doctor Who and the big red button that fixes everything. Doing these reviews seemed like a good idea when I started, but I think the show and I are just drifting apart. Until next time, I'm Mikola. DVD extras. There's a convention in some classic Greek tragedies called Deus Ex Machina, the god from the machine. At the end of the play, some piece of stage machinery floats an actor playing a god into the picture, and he makes everything right. Just fixes everything. I always wondered, why do we call a device from Greek tragedy by a Latin name? Well, it turns out that's because a Latin poet named Horace warned dramatists not to solve plots by using a Deus Ex Machina. Thought it was a bad idea. I took a classic course once with Professor Moses Haddis, and he had his own theory about Deus Ex Machina. He thought maybe we weren't meant to take it seriously. You know how sometimes they test movies with a happy ending and a sad ending, and then they release the one that works best with the audience? Well, Professor Haddis thought the Deus Ex Machina is a way to give the audience both endings. Those people who want the happy ending think that's the ending. Those people who don't think the tragic ending is the one. I think I'm going to follow that. I'm going to take the undo button in that spirit. The TARDIS actually exploded. Clara and the Doctor are gone, and I won't ever have to worry about them again. I haven't told that theory to my TiVo. I'll be back next week. Today's shirt. A classic shirt from Johnny Durham 19, an old school YouTuber whose last video was September of last year. More videos, Johnny. I love what you did. I love your designs. I love your shirts. I think you can still buy them. The store's still open. I'll put a link in the doobly-doo.